What happens when the woman a man replaced turns out to own everything he built? My name is Clara Cole. And tonight I walked into the gala my husband threw to celebrate replacing me. I was not invited. I did not need to be. Because what Ethan forgot when he chose Lena over me was something very simple. I am the majority shareholder of his company. Every investor in that ballroom, every executive in that room, every crystal glass and golden chandelier paid for by the empire he built, all of it answers to me. Let me tell you who Ethan Cole was before the chandeliers and the applause. He was a man with nothing but determination, no investors, no connections, no guarantee of any future. And beside him through every failure and every doubt stood me. I worked long hours. I managed our home. I supported his ambitions without complaint. When his plans failed, I told him to try again. When he doubted himself, I reminded him what he was capable of. I was his foundation, and he knew it. He used to look me in the eye and say, "One day I will give you everything you deserve." I never asked for anything. I just believed in him. That was my mistake, not believing in him. Trusting that belief was enough to protect me. Success changes people, not all at once. The changes were small at first. Late nights that ran longer. Dinners that got canceled. A sharpness in his voice that had never been there before. I told myself it was pressure. I told myself it was just a phase. Then Lena arrived, bold, glamorous, everything I was not pretending to be. She fit the image he was building. She spoke the language of the world he now wanted to live inside. And she became what I had been, the person beside him. Except this time, he did not have to hide what he felt. He let it show, slowly, then completely. I watched him choose her the way you watch someone walk through a door and close it quietly behind them. No argument, no confrontation, just gone. I did not beg. I did not fight. I did not create a scene in the house we had built together. I stepped back, room by room, moment by moment. I let the world assume I had simply disappeared, and while the world was busy forgetting me, I was busy preparing. What Ethan did not know, and what Lena certainly did not know, was that the original investment that started his company came through me. My name, my signature, my documented contribution that had never been transferred, never been removed, never been addressed because Ethan assumed I would stay quiet. He assumed the woman who supported him without asking for anything would continue supporting him without asking for anything. Even after he replaced her, he miscalculated. I spent 2 years building documentation, consulting with attorneys, understanding exactly what my position in that company meant legally and financially. I am the majority shareholder. I have been since the beginning, and tonight was the night I chose to stop being silent about it. The grand ballroom was everything Ethan loved. Golden chandeliers, crystal glasses, the richest investors and most influential faces in the city. And at the center of it all stood Ethan, with his hand around Lena's waist, presenting her to the room as his future, his new beginning, the woman who represented everything he was moving toward. The applause was loud. The admiration was real, and for a moment they looked exactly like what they wanted to be. Then the doors at the far end of the ballroom opened. I walked in. I wore a simple dress. I moved without rushing. I did not search the room for approval or recognition. I simply walked forward, and one by one the room went quiet, not because I demanded it, because some presences cannot be ignored no matter how quietly they enter. I watched Ethan's hand slip away from Lena's waist the moment he saw me. I watched his confidence crack for the first time all evening. Lena's smile faded as she tried to understand what she was looking at. I reached the front of the stage. I looked at Ethan. There was no anger in my eyes, no grief, only clarity. "Good evening," I said. "I apologize for the interruption. But I believe this is a moment that requires truth. For those who may not remember me, my name is Clara Cole. I am still Ethan Cole's legal wife. The room exhaled. Lena's face went pale. I took one step forward. I stood beside Ethan when he had nothing, when there were no investors, no grand events, no applause. I believed in him when no one else did. I supported him, I trusted him, and in return I was slowly pushed aside. A pause. He did not lose me, she said. He chose to replace me. Then I reached into my clutch and removed the documents I had carried with me since morning. I did not wave them dramatically. I simply held them. I remained silent for a long time, I said, not because I was weak, but because I was preparing. I am the majority shareholder of this company. The words landed like a stone dropped into still water. Gasps moved through the room. Executives near the back shifted visibly. Several investors who already knew leaned forward. This gala, this success, this entire empire is under my authority. Ethan's face went completely pale. The man who had stood so proudly moments before looked exposed, completely. For the first time all evening, he had nothing to say. Ethan stepped toward me, his voice unsteady. Clara, listen, we can talk about this. This is not the right place. There was never a right place for betrayal, I replied. My tone stayed calm. He searched for words. I made mistakes, he said. But we can fix this. We can start over. I looked at him for a long moment, not with anger, not with pain. With clarity. No, Ethan, you made choices, and now you will live with them. I turned to face the room. As of tonight, I said I will be taking full control of the company's operations. Effective immediately, Ethan Cole will no longer hold any decision-making authority. Behind him, Lena had already begun to move toward the back of the room. The admiration that had surrounded her minutes ago had turned into silence. Then distance, then nothing. She walked out. No one followed. No one stopped her. I watched none of it. My focus stayed forward. I spoke one final time to the room. Success built without loyalty is fragile, and respect earned through truth will always outlast illusion. Then I stepped down from the stage. I walked back across the ballroom the same way I had entered. Calm, steady, completely in control, and this time the silence behind me was not shock. It was respect. Outside, the night air felt different, lighter, clearer. I did not look back. I did not need to. Because my story was no longer about what I had lost. It was about everything I had quietly become. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your city in the comments and tell me which moment made you stop completely. Was it when I walked through those ballroom doors? Was it when I said I am still Ethan Cole's legal wife? Or was it when I held up the documents and said I am the majority shareholder? I read every single comment, and I want to know. If this story gave you something today, please hit the like button right now. Subscribe to Jennifer's story for new episodes every week. And the next story, already on your screen right now, is about a woman who returned to the boardroom of the company she had been forced out of. What happened when she sat back down at the head of that table will leave you completely unable to breathe. Stay right there.